Hey my scrappy friends, this is Hannah Lemieux with the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. This is my first video posting, so I am super excited to show you my Project Life spread for May 31st through June 6th. And I am a newer scrapper who does Project Life, so I like to use inspiration pieces. So I used the inspiration piece for this week, which is gorgeous, by the way. And I love the colors in it. So I try to, in all of my cards, think about the different colors or the different elements and translate that into my Project Life. So some of it you will see like different cards, and I'll show you when I get more there. I decided to use that that piece, that blue stripe piece is from the Atlas collection from Pink Paisley. And then I have some chalkboard from My Mind's Eye and another piece from, I want to say it's So Fancy, that white piece. And that picture is just of my scrap desk. And so obviously, each week I have a different amount of photos that I'm going to use, and so I just kind of figure out how many photos I have and how many, like if I need one page protector and stuff. So I generally notice that I use the design A, I think, yeah, which I'm like just about out, so I think I might have to get some, which I hate because I bought that whole big box. But anyway, so this card that you see me working on right now is a card that I actually made on PicMonkey. I like to use that to get my 3x4s cards situated. So what I'll do is I go into PicMonkey, and you have to like tweak the dimensions of it. I'm not sure what it is because I don't have it written down, that part in front of me, but you tweak that and then you can make it so that you can fit 2 3x4s on a 4x6, and that's what I like to do. I find it pretty easy. I mean, yes, it's an extra step, but it just makes it easy for printing since I print at home. But in their program, you can go and like edit things and stuff like that. And so I was just kind of playing around with ways to make my own cards to maybe make this process be, one, a little bit funner, and just to do something different and maybe make it a little easier, because if I have a lot more cards made up, then all I have to do is just add a couple of things to it. So this says Blue Skies and Waialua coffee, which is the coffee that is grown on part of the island. And there's a coffee place that we went to for this day that is called Green World Coffee Farm, and they have like a small little farm, and they grow their own coffee beans there, and then they do all that kind of roasting and all that. And so you can buy coffee there, and they have like some yummy Hawaiian type sweet treats, which they're kind of like American Hawaiian. They're not like Hawaiian, but there's lots of yummy goody stuff. So I have a picture of my kids and our dog, because we took our dog with us that day when we went to go get coffee on a Saturday morning. The power was out where we live all day, and so we thought, we'll take the chance, we'll go get some coffee, spend a couple hours out or whatever, and then come back with the dog. So I was going to use a bigger picture than that. I think that's 2.5 by 2. But then I didn't like the way that it looked like on that tag, and I really liked that tag. It matches the blue from the Pink Paisley Atlas collection, and that is Webster's Pages. So here is another picture from that same day, and I just put that in black and white. I thought it looked really cute with my girls sitting while we were waiting for my husband to get coffee in line. We just waited, near the car. And so the girls were playing with like their fake phones and stuff, taking pictures while I was taking regular pictures. And that background paper is also from Webster's Pages. I don't remember what sheet that was, but it's like a bokeh type of paper, and it's pink, and that is one of the colors in the inspiration piece. So, and then I'm going to use that banner that says Life is Good, and that banner is from Pink Fresh Studios, Up in the Clouds. And then there's that die cut that I cut with the die from the Amy Tan stitched line that says Lucky. And it has like, that's Becki. Why did I want to say Becki Higgins? Heidi Swap. It's a Heidi Swap paper, I think. It's like craft with like almost like sequins on it. It's an older paper, if I remember. I think it was in one of my like kits when I was getting Scraptastic like a long time ago. So I think I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I want to add to that. And I just decided to add some gems to it that are from Prima. So, and they're really fun colors. I just used the clear like white, like almost iridescent, and then a pink one. And then I'm going to do my journaling, and it just pretty much is just saying what's going on. I realized that I didn't do that much journaling on this spread as I normally do. And I think it's because I added my own cards, and I didn't put them on matte paper, which if I do this again, I am going to do it on matte paper instead of doing it on like a picture, because the matte will make it easier to write on, and then I can move things around too, because a lot of them were just regular photos, it was harder to move stuff. So this other card that I'm using right now with the black and white is one that I did also on PicMonkey, and they have different like shapes and stuff that you can use. So I just put on, and I hand put on each dot, which was crazy, but it was kind of fun to just pick and like move the dots around. And then it says coffee break on the inside in pink. It's probably kind of hard to see. In real life you can see it, and it's just this fun little font. And they have different fonts that you can pick. So you can add like words over top. And that blue skies and coffee I was working on like a double exposure, and I was wanting to have the blue skies, actually that word, you see the sky through the words, and it didn't look as good. It looked better to see the sky and then the words be kind of transparent, like almost sink into the background. So I'm going to have to play around with some of that stuff, but it was really fun to just kind of play around. I haven't done a lot of that stuff, but I thought it would be fun because then I could make cards that kind of went along with this theme, this inspiration piece that we're using. And that background paper is Amy Tan that I'm using on the background. And I thought the dot with the dot kind of looked cute. And then I just added some Maggie Holmes stuff and a couple other things. And I'm just talking about how that night I wanted some chocolate, and because I think the picture is next. I'm going to show the picture next because it's a picture of a bottle of beer and chocolate, which I don't drink much, but it was just fun for a nice summer night. And then this is a picture of my girls on the couch. This summer we've been having sleepovers with just the girls and letting them sleep downstairs, stay up later than normal, and watch a movie, and usually it's on the weekend. And so I took a picture of them because I think Lonnie was just about falling asleep, and Kaden was still awake a little bit, but it's just fun. So I wanted to make sure I documented that, because I don't take a picture every single night that they sleep downstairs, but every once in a while I do. And I think that that's the kind of perfect kind of picture to take for Project Life, because I don't know if that's something I would necessarily scrap all the time. Now, and of course, I'm not one to like really care about if I'm scrapping on a 12 by 12 a picture that is about something that we do day to day, because I like to see those day to day in my big 12 by 12. And for right now, I am actually mixing my Project Life with my 12 by 12, though I have quite a few now from my Project Life, and I'm wondering if maybe I do want to separate it. I don't know. What do you guys do? Do you guys like to have it separate? And I don't know. I thought I liked the idea of having it mixed in, but I don't necessarily scrap chronologically. So I might do a page, from like 3 years ago, and then do a page from yesterday. So, oh yeah, there's the 3x4 with the piece of chocolate. And that chocolate is actually made right on the island in Kahlua, which and you can go into the shop and see them make, like, they'll show you how they make the coffee or the chocolate. It's really, really cool. Apparently, oh yeah, I just put that Amy Tan heart, and I got a tiny attacher, so I used it quite a few times on this spread. Actually, I was over at the Scrap Girls Facebook group. I've started listening to their podcast, and then I hopped over to their group because I wasn't a part of their group, and that's a really fun group. And they talk a lot about other things that some of the other groups that I'm a part of on Facebook don't always, which is kind of fun. And they were asking a question about the tiny attacher and if it was going to end up rusting. And so that got me thinking about how, if it will actually last. I'm guessing that after 20 years, even in a page protector, it may not last. But they're sure stinking cute, let me tell you that. I don't know how I went so long without having one. So this page is a picture from the front side, and which, don't ask me why I started with the back and the front. I don't know. Now, everything that I did, I got everything ahead of time and got it all situated before I even put it all together. And I find that this helps me with the recording process, not necessarily getting everything together. It probably would be faster if I didn't do it, except for that I would have to stop after each one and figure out. But I find that if I get everything kind of situated for each card, and then I just build the card. So this is why you're not seeing me pick out the papers or anything. That teal and white striped is Webster's Pages, and then the other dot is, I believe, from Chickenity. Either that or it's from Seven's paper from Studio Calco. Actually, you could see me. So I love that Webster's Pages. I could almost use that whole thing, but it was just so pretty. I couldn't help, because of all the teals in that inspiration piece, I had to add it. And I love how I could add a lot of like dots and stripes and get that classic look, but mix in some punches of color. So I really tried to stay with that theme. And there's a gold tag. I love those tags. I think I could just buy a whole pack of just those tabs. Simple Stories should do that. I don't know if they're... No one's listening. If I could speak it into the universe. And that piece that I'm putting in says hashtag that happened, or this happened. I thought it was kind of cute. And the black and white helped calm that down. And then I have just a piece from my click kits. It was from one of the papers, and it was pink. It was just part of it. So I'm just looking for some things to layer, and that is from Maggie Holmes, and I added that pink and white twine. And then I'm going to add some flags and stuff. That's kind of why you see me. I have those packs over there because I was thinking that I'd use a lot of stuff from them because they were similar colors that I was working with. And I did put a thing that says fun with friends, but you can only see with friends. And in the tag, I'm going to end up putting memories. I don't know if I did that already, but that's a picture of a tower that my kids built. They love to build like towers and houses and all that kind of stuff. So, and Lonnie gets happy whenever I take a picture of her Furby, and pretty much Project Life is the only thing that I will take pictures in Scrap. Well, maybe not. Maybe one day I'll do a picture with her and her Furby. But for now, the Furby has stayed in Project Life. And let me tell you, she loves that thing. So she is like, she's seen this picture and she was like, my Furby is in it. I don't know if any of you guys have kids that have Furbies, but let me tell you, they're not as weird as when I was a kid, but they're still, yeah. So here I'm using some black and white text paper and then that circly like starburst. Actually, it's more like a pink circle, and that's pink. And then I cut out that camera from Webster's Pages. It was one of the cut aparts. And I just fussy cut it, which I'm not big on that, but that looks so stinking awesome like that. And then I had that acrylic shape, and that blue was perfect. It matched the blues. And so I'm just going to put smile and just a few sequins on that card and just leave it like that. I really like how that card turned out. It's one of my favorites from this spread. I did try to keep it pretty simple. I will say what I taped wasn't too bad. It was like an hour and a half, which I haven't done Project Life in a couple of weeks, probably 2 or 3 weeks now. And so it was kind of like getting back on the horse. I wish I didn't wait, but I've just been so crazy that I hadn't had a chance to do it last week. So here's my next card. Oh yeah, this is going to be the title card. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use that dot from My Mind's Eye, which matches pretty close to the Simple Stories ampersand, or if I want to use that teal. And I end up using the teal from Chalkboard. I just think that blue color looks better than having the two double. And really that background color and even the ampersand doesn't necessarily match the colors in the inspiration piece. But I really love that ampersand with the gold dots. So what's going on? And then I use a Webster's Page tag that says hello, and it has like gold on it. It kind of matches the gold in the ampersand. So then I'm going to put May and June, and I'm going to use the poolside little letter stickers, and then I'm going to use the marquee. And then I will end up having to go look for numbers that I think will work. And I end up using gold, which I think it looks pretty nice. It helps tie everything together. And I am trying to keep this card decently simple. I know it takes me a little while to figure out what I want to put in the ampersand because I still want to put something there, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want it to you not be able to see that it was an ampersand. And a couple of things, I thought like a camera or something would be kind of cute, but I couldn't find a camera that was small enough. So I end up using the Simple Stories I Am stickers, and it says creating the life I want. So here's a picture of a cupcake that I made for a Mother's Night Out at a group that I'm a part of for me and my kids. That is a group, like a support group for families with kids with life-threatening illnesses. So they do mom's nights out, and they do family events and tons of stuff. And that night I went to the mom's night, and it was a potluck. So I brought cupcakes because I love to make cupcakes anyway. And I haven't made a ton of cupcakes. So this card next to it is going to go next to it. And that is a card that I also made. And this I made on an app that is called Paint Plus Paper, I believe. And it is a really, really fun app. It has some background stuff, watercolory type painting things, and then you can add words, a text to it, and move it around and put it in places. So it's kind of fun to play around with. And the fun thing is it'll save it right to your phone. Or if you have an iPad, you could probably do it on your iPad. I don't know if it is an app that you can use on an Android. So And this card also was made with that. And that's just a black and white. And then I put like a corally or like a light pink heart in the corner. So I'm going to use that bow that I made. And I think that most of that paper, I know one of the papers from Serendipity. And then that tag. Just because I wanted to write a little bit on the tag talking about the photo that I have next to it. So, and then I just add a few things just to make it pretty. Even though that card would have been nice all on its own, with like even with just the word gorgeous and I put a heart and a couple of sequins on it. I mean, it would have been fine with just a couple of things. But, you know, I have to add extra stuff to my spread if I can. It's this weird disease that I have called I can't leave it alone even if I make something. And here I add flags to it just because I thought it needed one other thing. And washi tape too. I don't know if you could see that. And I think I'm just about done. So I want to thank you guys for joining us at the Crafty Maven Getaway. And I hope you guys have been really enjoying all the inspiration that we've been posting. If you have any comments or anything about how the videos are going or anything that you want to see, you know, put it below. I know we've been kind of talking about some of the stuff that you guys mentioned earlier that you would like to see. And I mean, it just is a matter of time before we can get everything that we need to do. And I mean, I've really been enjoying watching videos every day. I hope you guys have too. Don't forget to look below in the comments. There's a whole bunch of different places that you can find us. So I will see you guys later, and don't forget to come back tomorrow. Bye!